I've always been a little bit more of the teacher's pet growing up, and even now still I like getting praise, and so I will do what it takes to get the dopamine hit from some praise from people. I did often have, talks too much on most of my report cards growing up, but there's no way that was going to change. Hi, I'm Lacey J. I'm an entrepreneur who started a social media agency at age 22. Weird, I know. I've been niching it down and building it up over the last 11 years, and a long 11 years they have been. Being on social media so much is hard on my and my team's mental health, so we work to find routines, balance, and focus on ethics that keep us showing up authentically online. If you manage social media accounts and you feel confused, unfocused, or straight up wackadoo, welcome to the club. We meet here once a week. Hello and welcome back. I'm so excited to have you here. Today we are talking about what's not working in social media right now. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about that's not working right now on social media is third-party scheduling tools. Okay, by that I mean lots of tools out there that you can use to create and schedule content for social media platforms. CoSchedule, Hootsuite, Later, Buffer, the list goes on. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up now is because we just experienced a really, really big issue with our third-party scheduling tool. We use CoSchedule, and we've used it for years and years and years. There have been lots of things that we don't like about it, and we've been working on moving into a different type of workflow where we don't have to rely so much on a third-party scheduling tool, but CoSchedule is one that we've used for years and years, and there was a big issue with it this month. What happened was one day we get onto our CoSchedule app to start crafting our content, and we see a little notification that just first says, right now we cannot push out content to Facebook and Instagram. And we're like, okay, that sucks. We've got to adjust our workflow a little bit to make sure that we're manually posting content for the week. But the really scary part that happened is the whole time that it was down, which ended up being about 5 days that this third-party scheduling tool had been down and not connected to Facebook and Instagram. The whole time that it was down, every Facebook post that had ever been published using that third-party scheduling tool was hidden. Okay, that was terrifying. Meaning, we have clients who we've worked with since like 2019, 2018. If you went to their Facebook profile during that 5 days of downtime, the last post on their feed was from 2018. That's so scary. Me, as a owner, I had to start considering the fact that there's a chance that these posts could never come back up again. And then what would I do? Now, all this work that we've put in, there's not even evidence that it's done, okay? So this was a big reality check for me as a social media owner, a social media agency owner, and I think it should be a really big reality check to lots of social media managers, is how dependent are we upon these tools? Okay, when you schedule using a third-party scheduling tool, you're relying on their API, their connection into the platforms that you're posting on, okay? You notice on Facebook when something is posted from a third-party tool, as an admin, you can see who each post is posted by, who the author is. And when you're using these third-party scheduling tools, the author is listed as the third-party scheduling tool. So in our case, if you manually post, it says Lacey J. Fott is the author. If you're posting using the third-party scheduling tool, it says CoSchedule or Hootsuite or Buffer as the author. So the fact that the posts that we're putting out and publishing on these platforms are by this one author means we are totally dependent upon the legitimacy and security of that third-party scheduling tool. If for some reason it's hacked, that API is hacked and it becomes no longer secure, Facebook may very well do something just like what they did this last 5 days, where all of the content from one author is hidden, okay? That's very, very, very insecure for us social media managers to be so reliant upon a tool like that. So that's one piece, is this security and ownership of content that you need to be thinking about when you're choosing if you're going to and which tool you're going to use as a third-party scheduling tool. There's a few other things to even be thinking about that make it not work very well. One is there's such a huge emphasis on video on social media right now, and many of these scheduling tools have a cap on the size of a video that you can share through their scheduling tool. It makes sense. There's a lot of back-end details that have to happen for a video file to be hosted, transferred automatically from one server to another server. So when we have this third party in between, this middleman, there's a lot that can go wrong, and this video size issue ends up being a problem. So in that case, many things actually have to be posted manually anyway. If you can't schedule your video to post through your third-party scheduling tool, then you have to go and do it manually anyway. LinkedIn, there are many of the third-party scheduling tools that do not allow you to post video using specific platforms. So LinkedIn is one of them. I know Hootsuite is one that allows you to post video on LinkedIn, but many of the tools do not allow you to post video on LinkedIn because of their specific API requirements. So that's another reason. So that leaves us with a question of what do we do instead, right? If all of these third-party scheduling tools are leaving us feeling insecure and not fulfilling all of our needs, what do we do? I mean, I know for us in our company at Spry, we've been working on creating some project management boards that properly track all the activities that we're supposed to be doing so that we can draft and approve content within a project management board, and then also track when we've manually scheduled or published the content on the platforms. Most social media platforms have a internal tool for scheduling. LinkedIn is one of the only ones that doesn't have the ability to pre-schedule. So just start thinking about what you're doing with your workflows. If you're very dependent on a third-party scheduling tool, maybe you start working on what an option would look like without using those tools, what a workflow would look like, and building a way to manage and track all of the activities that you're trying to accomplish on social media without that heavy dependence on a tool that you're not in control of. One last piece about third-party scheduling tools. We've always been told that your content, the reach of your content using a third-party scheduling tool could be throttled because the platforms want you to use their tools, not use other tools. They want to keep all the money to themselves and not have to share any of their revenue with any other software programs. Whether that's true or not, I'm not sure if that statistic, I haven't seen it on our clients feel like any of our reach has been throttled. However, we also have a very targeted ad strategy that we do with all of our content. So that throttling hasn't really mattered. I mean, post something organically on Facebook even from the platform and see how far it goes. It doesn't go far at all. So I've never really worried about the idea that those third-party tools throttle reach because we have ads and because organic reach is already throttled on so many of the platforms. All right, so the next thing that we want to talk about that's not working well on social media is growing a community from scratch without concrete objectives and compelling content, okay? So most of the businesses that come to us have been established for a while and they're ready to grow the size of their community. They're ready to increase the impact that their brand has through social media. However, sometimes we will get people who are coming at the very beginning, right? They are just starting their business. Their website is just launched and now they're wanting to build some brand awareness and drive traffic to their website. The problem with building a community from scratch is that there are specific things you need to have in place for it to be done successfully. One of which I mentioned is concrete objectives. What is the purpose of this channel for you? Why are you doing social media at all? Are you trying to build a community of people who know who you are? Are you trying to directly drive traffic to your website? What is the purpose? Because that's going to drive the strategy. The second piece is compelling content. Okay, this isn't 1999 where, was there even social media in 1999? This isn't, let me do another one. This isn't 2011 when you could just open a Facebook page and throw up some posts and everyone who was on your follower list would see them. And this isn't that, okay? You can't just throw content up and hope it works. You have to have compelling content, especially if you are starting from scratch and building a community from nothing, okay? So I've been experiencing an issue with one of the companies that I've been working with because They don't have those things. They don't have a clear objective of what they're trying to accomplish, and there's no compelling content to work with, okay? So starting a Facebook and Instagram page from 0 people, inviting our friends and employees to like it. Wow, we've made it to 15 followers. Exciting. We've put out a few weeks of content, and the content is so dry. It's just a graphic made in Canva with some words on it, like it's an SEO company, and it's like, how's your local SEO? And little bullet points about their services, right? And then we're trying to drive some traffic to their website. Well, even when we promote this content, the brand is seen as so illegitimate in the eyes of the platform that it's not serving it to very many people. Why? Because Facebook and Instagram, they do want their audience to engage with ads. And so they want to deliver ads from legitimate pages, from legitimate accounts, from solid businesses, so that people have a good experience with the ad that they're interacting with. So if you open a channel a few weeks before and you have 10 followers and you start trying to promote out content, you will not reach as many people as you would if you had started the page 6 months before and had 6 months worth of content sitting there. Okay. So what's the problem? How do we create compelling content to build community from scratch? Some of the things that I've been pitching and trying to push them to do is including the humans in their brand, in their content, okay? Instead of just putting out dry Canva graphics with words on them, let's talk about the people who are running things in the background there. Human beings respond to human faces. It's evolution. This is what we're programmed to do, okay? And so even just including a real human face, not just a stock human face, okay? People can sniff out the difference between a stock photo and an actual photo of somebody working in that brand. So I'm pushing this brand. Can we do some behind the scenes content that highlights the humans in the brand? They don't really want to do it. They don't want to be the face of their brand. That makes it very difficult to build a community from scratch. Another thing I've been pushing them to do is, can we do some video content, right? We can make it simple. It can be simple video content. I'll interview you on Zoom, okay? We'll capture your answers on Zoom. We will break those up into 30-second pieces, because then again, it's a real human. It's somebody talking through the answers to questions that they're getting during their sales calls. Good content. They're not willing to do it. They don't want to have their face, their personality associated with their brand. Then why are you doing a business? It's so hard to understand how anybody thinks that they can build a community without highlighting and having transparency behind the people who are doing the work. In 2022, we want to know who is doing the work for us. We want to know who we're paying, who we're supporting. And we can, because we have the ability to choose between so many different companies and brands in 2022 to do work for us. So if you hide behind your brand and don't have that level of transparency, it's going to be hard for you to build a community, especially from scratch. The last thing that I've been trying to do for them is like, fine, if you're not willing to highlight your own self, can we make this brand voice really intriguing and compelling? Can we make it funny? Can all of our content have kind of a joke behind it and consistently have almost like a meme style of content? That's a way we could build community. And they're not open to that either. So, at some point you throw your hands up and you do what you're told for a while. But as a social media manager, when it's your responsibility to build a community from scratch, you know what to do. You try to create some compelling content, a strong brand voice, try to bring the humans out of the brand in any way you can, and just keep plugging along and improving little by little. Maybe we'll be up to 20 followers by next week. We'll see. Hey, if you're looking for ways to build your foundational social media strategy skills, we've got a course for that. I worked with Adrian Harvey, who's the lead digital strategist at Spry, has a master's in digital media, and has worked in digital marketing for over 10 years to create this course. The course is called Social Media on Purpose, and it takes all of the lessons we've learned over our combined 24 years in the industry and distills them down into bite-sized lessons for you to enjoy. If you're interested, check it out at thinkspry.com/courses. Also, we're kind of cute and funny if that's important to you. One more thing that isn't working well right now on social media is the promotion of Instagram Reels, okay? If you open up your phone and you scroll through, you find one of your Reels posts and you try to promote it, it says promotion unavailable because you're not allowed to boost or promote Reels. Well, we had a workaround on that for a while, where you could actually go into Facebook Ads Manager, Meta Ads Manager, whatever, and you could select from existing posts and it would pull up any posts, including your Reels posts, and you could promote the post from Facebook Ads Manager. So a couple of interesting things were happening when we were doing that. One is that, let's say you were promoting it for video views, it would show you in Facebook Ads Manager how many views that ad got. However, the actual reel, the number of views on the reel would never increase. Even though it increased and showed us how many views it was getting on the ad, the reel's views on Instagram didn't increase by the same amount. So interesting. I'm not sure exactly how that data was being delineated and why wouldn't it include more views when it was viewed by more people in that ad? It's confusing. However, this week, as we've been playing around and trying to promote some Reels through Facebook Ads Manager, now those posts are no longer showing up in Ads Manager. So that's a little bit disappointing. We create such good content for Reels, and clients are all creating such great content for Reels that it would be so nice to be able to promote those to increase that audience size. But for now, it looks like Meta has taken that ability away from us, even with our workaround. So we'll keep our eyes on it. And if we see something change, we'll let you know. Okay, so before you head off for the rest of your day, I want to talk to you about a practice that I have been doing for a long time, which has also been my longest running social media campaign, called micro meditations. Okay, so for me, what I do on social media is I put up my phone on my Instagram stories and I just take one. I did that just word. We talked about that last week. You remove just from your language, okay? I take out my phone, I look at it, I take one deep breath, one inhale, one exhale, looking at my phone the whole time. I add a little hashtag micro meditation onto it and post it to my stories. Now, I have been doing that most days for the last about 3 years, okay? So it's my longest running piece of content, and it's the content that I get the most feedback on. People will message me and say, thank you so much for doing this. This is the only deep breath that I took today. And how neat it is to feel like something that I've done consistently over time because it helps me has been something that has started to get people to come to my channel for that purpose. People will message me saying, when I need a moment of peace, I will come to your stories because I know that I'll find something here. And that is so rewarding as a social media manager with a personal brand, to feel like I've developed something over time that is genuinely helping people. What more do we want? Why else do we put out content than to feel like we're touching people's lives in a way that becomes part of their life? And I'll say, from a personal standpoint, these one intentional breaths that I work on taking throughout my days, they become part of my normal behavior. When I start to feel my stress rising, which I don't know what it feels like for you, but for me, it often feels like heat. There's like a heat that comes into my chest and up into my face that makes me want to scream. I'm a bit of a yeller, a little bit of a thrower, if we're honest, okay? If I've got something in my hand, I just have to have this kinetic release when I have big stress. And taking one deep breath, it doesn't fix it every time, but it can significantly, in an instant, bring my stress level down, bring that heat back down into my chest, cool me down in a way that makes me feel like I can manage my emotions so much better. So I don't know, maybe you can try it. You can come over to my Instagram stories on Lacey J. Fott and see I've got a highlight reel that starts like 160 weeks ago that has tons of these micro meditations, and then I do them almost every day. And maybe you can try it the next time the heat is coming up your chest and you're about to throw that pencil in your hand. Just think, Lacey J told me, take a deep breath, and we'll see if it works for you, okay?
I hope you have a good day. I hope you keep your frustration at bay. I hope your tools all work for you as they're supposed to, and that you keep learning. I'll talk to you soon.
Social Media with Lacey J is brought to you by Spry Social Media Marketing. Edited and produced by Chad Hinman. And executive produced by Lacey J. Fott.